So it's been over a year, since the start of the pandemic that has killed over 600,000 Americans and sickened millions of others, and has mutated into being even more infectious. And yet, there are still people out there who think, oh, no, the virus, totally fakes. Totally fake. Fake news. Masks, taking away your freedom. Deep state. Vaccines, tracking devices for Satan. Now, of course, you're not going to be surprised about who these people are. I've talked about it before. They happen to, let me just give you a hint, their belief in COVID-19 being a hoax happened to coincide with the belief that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. They happen to be that, people who are basically consuming conservative media, Fox News, OAN Newsmax, Tucker Carlson, etc. And so that shouldn't be surprising. And now you have, of course, as a result of people that are not vaccinated, the Delta variant, which is right now tearing through the states, through communities. And as it does so, you have doctors out there that are voicing some frustration as these people, of course, they get coronavirus, they get sick, they end up in the hospital in many times serious conditions. They die in hospitals. And so you've got a lot of doctors, medical professionals that are pretty frustrated about this. In fact, here's Dr. Ryan Dare of the University of Arkansas for Medical Studies in Little Rock, told NBC News, quote, "It's heart-wrenching to see unvaccinated individuals come to the hospital with regret." Regret. I'm going to get to the regret part. But look, before I do that, let me just give you a stat here. The majority, 99% of hospitalizations from coronavirus are among the unvaccinated. And of course, it's no surprise that this is happening in states that supported Donald Trump. So Dr. Dare noted that treating clients that had expressed some regret after they had gotten sick. In fact, one had said, quote, this is what Dr. Dare said, if they could do it all over again, they would have had the vaccine in a second. Interesting. So that is very interesting. And again, this is all happening while the cases of COVID-19 are on the rise among the unvaccinated. Some 40% of the country ish still hasn't had both shots. That's a lot of people that are unvaccinated. That's a lot of people that are still getting sick. And there's a lot of people that are taking up hospital beds unnecessarily. Again, we don't have to do this. They don't have to be in the hospital with coronavirus if they had the vaccine and had been wearing masks. But anyway, there's another one here. This is Dr. Mayro Juarez telling NBC News, quote, "It's just a mess. Everybody in the hospital is doing extra shifts, calling out for other hospitals to help." So, the frontline workers, the people who were taking care of people during the height of the pandemic that were getting sick themselves, dying, having burnout, going through seeing the worst scenes unfold of people dying in hospital beds and, not able to be surrounded by their loved ones, touching and looking at a screen, an iPad or, in video chat with their family as they lay dying, gasping for breath. That's what's happening here. Okay? And they went through all of that. And now we have a vaccine that is incredibly effective, several vaccines that are incredibly effective. And these doctors are still seeing people come through because they choose not to get the vaccine. And of course, they're like, but why? Why? Now, Juarez also reported, like many other doctors that have been quoted here, everybody in the hospital is doing extra shifts, as I mentioned. He said he has patients who are, quote, shocked that coronavirus exists and it can be fatal. So understand that, right? So other doctors that I've quoted before have talked about their patients dying as they're gasping for breath, saying, "This isn't real. I thought COVID-19 was a hoax." In fact, he said, quote, "A comment they make all the time is that they wish they knew they were going to end up in the hospital this sick and they would have made a different choice and got the vaccine." Weird. It's, look, we've said this. We've talked about this over and over. Get the vaccine. This is serious. COVID-19 is serious. We're not messing around, right? This isn't swine flu, okay? This isn't, H1N1, okay? This is incredibly serious. This is worse than all of these. Which, by the way, go back to swine flu H1N1, we actually had competent government at the time. And so we actually did have plans in place. And so did something about it, prevented it from spreading. But in this case, we have, yes, we had a disastrous response under the clown president. And then we did get a vaccine, thankfully, that is effective, but people choose not to take it. And we know who these people are. And more importantly, we know what kind of media these people consume. Conservative media, Fox News, as I said, Newsmax, maybe posts on Facebook by anti-vax groups that exist. We don't live in the same reality as some of these people do anymore. And of course, it's because of the media. And look, you also have quote unquote influencers on the right wing. For example, Candace Owens, I talked about her saying, quote, "Me and my family will never get the vaccine. Ever." And then you have Tammy Lauren still putting out videos like this. This is a recent one.
Am I surprised the Biden administration will be launching such an intrusive and moronic effort? No. Does it disgust me? Yes. Will it go over well? No. Will it encourage me to get the jab? Hell to the no, and once again, for good measure, no. Vaccination is a personal choice. It's not Joe's dang business whether we choose to get vaccinated or not. And in fact, this communist-inspired approach will likely have the opposite effect that these vaccine pushers are hoping for. Some Americans are already wary, and rightfully so, about a vaccine that has not yet even been FDA approved. The last thing that will make us feel better or more comfortable with getting it is having some Karen from the nanny state come push it on us on our own private property. This latest overreach is par for the course for these COVID-obsessed tyrants. These elected and unelected bureaucrats have had no faith in the American people from the get-go, closing down our businesses, parks, gyms, schools, churches, and everything else they deemed non-essential. Britney Spears doesn't need a conservator, and neither do the American people at large. They've treated us like inept children who are incapable and even rendered unable to make our own decisions on our own health and wellness, and it's complete and utter BS. The government and their scientists, namely COVID warrior king Fauci, have been wrong on multiple occasions on everything from where coronavirus originated to the efficacy of mask wearing. Many of us feel flat out lied to, and we have a legitimate right to feel that way. And listen, I'm not here to tell you if the vaccine is safe or not, but I am here to tell you that getting it is 100% your choice. Like I've said before, I am personally not going to get the jab because I'm young, healthy, and unafraid of coronavirus. And I'll be more than happy to explain that to Biden's vaccine knockers should they make the big mistake of coming to my door. Thanks, but no thanks.
That is such a fake person. That's not a real person. That's a caricature. All right. Now, like on this show, I'm real. Okay, I'm a real person. Yes, this is how I talk. All right. She is not a real person. Hell to the no. I'm not gonna get the jab. Those vaccine pushers. Oh my God. No, you know what that is? That reminds me, that is the most literal Karen moment rant that I have ever seen. Like, I felt like she was going to ask me for the manager. Like, that's who she is. Like, she is asking for the manager. And so, but here's the thing. I'd bet money that Candace Owens is vaccinated. Tommy Lauren, I think it's a requirement to work at Fox, to be in the Fox building, that you get vaccinated. That Tucker Carlson, so that means Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, all the people that are spreading anti-vax conspiracies, of course, they're all vaccinated. And by the way, the Trump family also vaccinated. It's a grift. It's a complete and utter lie that's going to get people killed. And again, this is disinformation, and what it is, it's more culture war BS. That's what it is. It feeds into the culture war. It's trying to own the libs, dying to own the libs. That's that's exactly what they're doing. It's for the outrage, for the clicks. I mean, this is complete and utter Karen reactionary behavior. Totally. And sadly, this is why so many people who are unvaccinated are ending up in the hospital dying. Again, 99% of the deaths and hospitalizations are among the unvaccinated. And this is despite having a vaccine that is free. It's free and effective, even against the Delta variant. Okay. But again, you have people that listen to this. And as a result, let me give you an example. Wyoming has an only 35% vaccination rate. And there's a doctor there that talked to NBC News. This is Dr. Andy Dunn, a family physician and chief of staff at Wyoming Medical Center in Casper, said he is, quote, beyond frustrated. Whether it's the cowboy way or whatever, the mentality of so much of Wyoming is just, we're not doing it. It's really horrible and heartbreaking. That's the medical professionals. These people, again, they're getting sick. At first, they're messing around, they F around, fuck around and find out. And that's exactly what happened. They go around, they prance around without their masks, and they don't, I'm not going to get vaccinated, freedom. And then later on, they're in the hospital, barely able to breathe, going, well, I didn't know that COVID-19 was real. I thought it was a hoax. I kept listening to Tommy Lahren and Tucker Carlson, who keep telling me that it's a government overreach, and that they're going to inject Satan into your veins. I mean, come on. Again, I shouldn't have to sit here and explain how these people are factually wrong, because it's so incredibly obvious. But unfortunately, I'm not reaching enough people. We're not reaching enough people. Facts aren't reaching enough people because we live in a fact-free world, or at least they do, and don't accept reality. They should have listened to the science about this. They should have gotten the vaccine. Instead, they wasted time, money, and possibly even their own lives. It's so disgusting knowing that these hosts, who are likely vaccinated, are doing this for money. I mean, Tommy Lauren's always been a fake. She's always been a fraud. She's always been a grifter. Same thing with Candace Owens. Okay. And Tucker Carlson, same thing. These are all people that are making money off bullshit disinformation that is literally getting Americans killed. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.